If you want to be an impactful leader, you cannot put your health last. We're going to be discussing food consciousness in this episode, figuring out how exactly you can align your life with who you want to be in the future for your goals and your purpose and your health and your wealth. We're back. We're still doing this. Mm-hmm. And by we, I mean you mostly. You were doing this, Britnie.
This is us.
We're helping so many people, and it's a journey together. I'm just having a blast.
People are losing it. They're just excited that there are tools.
Yeah.
There are actual tools out there that help you get clear on the life you really want to live. We're not living in this like fantasy or dream, like someday I'll eventually be that, and you don't hit it and you're all depressed.
Yep.
Just have a freaking plan.
Yeah.
Take a few hours to design your life and download that tool from broketowoke.com and start filling this out. The most important things when you're doing it is to make sure you start in one category on one goal and go all the way down. Don't bounce around. This is where people blow it. Okay? So today we're talking about lifestyle and health.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pick a goal.
Yes.
If my goal in my lifetime is that I want to work on developing 13 nations, creating opportunities for people who have none, bridging the gap between, opportunity and need, and helping to create all these systems and revitalizing places after disasters. Do you think I can do all that with a sick body?
Sick as in like
gross.
Yeah.
Like I'm like
yeah.
like rolled over, 400 pounds with, just all kind of different ailments.
Need to be amazingly healthy, vibrant, radiant.
I'm stuck in this body.
Yeah.
And to even be able to handle that much stress, I probably need to train. Right? Do I need to be mentally sound?
Yes.
Right. Do you wake up with a perfect mint body that is trained and able to handle rough environments with a perfectly mentally sound body in 20 years? Do you think that's just something that is normal?
It's going to happen over time.
Does it take...
You got to put a little bit of energy.
It's some intentionality.
A smidge a bit.
You got to be careful with what you are feeding yourself.
Yep.
How you're continuing to move. I don't actually believe that I can influence the influential, work with different presidents of countries, and help eliminate human trafficking if I'm on tons of medication.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Right.
So you're thinking through some of the things that you need to, like we said, stop doing and make sure that you continue doing, but you're seeing that vision of yourself, and you're like, this is not going to be possible.
Right.
Unless all these things are true. So how do I make them true?
Right.
So how do you make them true?
Well, I'll tell you. So normal disaster environments, people pack candy, bunch of easy junk that you don't have to cook, grabbables, whatever. And
oh my gosh, that's such a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Oh my gosh, you can't cook anything. So you have to, whatever's on you, it won't go bad. And so most of that stuff is pretty processed. So that's not just for disaster zones. That's for really busy entrepreneurs. How many of us skip meals or don't go work out or, just grab the quick thing? So I realized I was doing this a couple years ago. And I love peanut butter M&Ms.
Oh my gosh.
I love Oreos. I love donuts. I have all sweet teeth.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, they're all sweet.
It's a mess. I love just sweets, and it's probably my parents' fault. I blame y'all if you're listening to this.
Parents, your fault.
Dang you, Mom and Dad. Making dessert the highest reward and vegetables the punishment. This is your fault. And I have to go through all this training. Anyway, I had to finally say it to y'all. You shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so if I want to do all those things, then I have to be strategic with my health. And if I love all this junk food and I don't have time to cook, then I need to figure out how to hack the systems. So if that's the long-term vision of my life, then in the next 5 years, what do I want my health and energy goal to be? So what I wrote down is that I want to wake up in 5 years with natural energy and even more ripped after having kids. I'm not pregnant or anything, but I would like to have kids in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose my fitness because I have to have that in order to continue doing the work that I've got. So that doesn't normally happen. Again, don't just wake up like that. It's going to take a plan. Well, I wasn't trained on health at the optimal level. Honestly, I was always super annoyed at healthy people because they're annoying. Just like healthy food was gross. So I'm like, ugh.
It's challenging.
I know that I would work really well on deadlines and pressure, putting myself under pressure. So I was like, all right, if that's going to be true in 5 years, then what's going to force me to overcome myself enough to learn the stuff? I'm busy. I got a lot of fires. I got 6 companies. I work internationally and disasters happen. What's going to force me to learn this stuff? And so for me, I picked, well, if I compete in a bodybuilding competition, then I'll learn how to eat to stay ripped, how to eat to stay healthy, and how to actually work out in a way that will keep my body where I want it to be. And so that was a fun deadline. Not everybody needs to do this, but figure out, is there a race or something you can compete in to where you create a deadline for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't just do things for the deadline, but you're building the discipline and the habits in such an intense way to accomplish that goal that you can carry it into the rest of your life at least a moderate level. I do not eat at the disciplined level that I need to compete in a bodybuilding competition every day, but have I taken out, 80% of the junk that was in my diet that I didn't know was treating my body bad and making me feel gross and have that lack of clarity in my mind? Yeah. Why? Because I was educated. I had a coach. I read some books. I watched some YouTube videos. And then I actually went through the process of competing. So
I like what you just said too, that vulnerability, 80%. Not 100, but that's 80. Most, right? The majority.
Well, I was eating all this stuff I didn't even really like because I thought it was good for me.
Yeah.
But going through a process of intense education forced me to learn. Now, I'm never hungry. I eat way more than anybody else. I eat delicious, healthy, non-processed food.
Right.
Real food.
Yeah.
And it's been a really fun thing to learn.
Treats the bod well.
Oh my gosh, I'm such a better leader.
Yeah.
When I'm not rolling out of bed tired and achy and gross feeling and hiding in pictures because I feel fat.
I hope people are listening to that. It's such a really interesting takeaway, and truly one that I haven't massively thought about is your health, Britnie, absolutely will dictate how you perform in those areas. So, I mean, most people think like, oh, I have to be a good runner, or I got to keep my heart healthy so I don't have a heart attack. All those aspects. Obviously, health is your biggest wealth.
Yeah.
But you have to be healthy so that you can optimally perform in those
Absolutely.
environments.
I want to do things that have never been done.
Shoot.
I want to be a great leader. Yeah. I want to be somebody worth listening to. So for that little girl, I've got to pull it together. And that discipline was so cool because I didn't have the time to work out. I didn't have the time to cook. I gave up cooking for Lent 12 years ago. I hate cooking. So, all right, if I don't want to cook, then what can I do? Meal prep. There are tons of meal prep companies all over the world. So I hacked the cooking part.
Yeah.
And it actually saved me money, which was crazy because I had all this food going bad because I never cook. So hacked the eating part. Again, hired a coach that told me exactly what to eat. I just my assistant would send off the list. Those meals would come in. And then with the pressure of that deadline, I learned how you can compete in a bodybuilding competition with only 20 minutes of workouts, focused workouts a day. That's it. That's it.
It's amazing.
How do you do it? It's not 4 hours. It was 20 minutes of the right thing. So again, my 1 year was to compete in a bodybuilding competition and do well. So the next 90 days, it was create a plan on exactly what to eat, write my food plan and follow it to the T, hire a coach, and have my coach direct my workouts, and then do that 5 times a week.
Right.
I had one cheat meal, or the time, depending on your timeline, one cheat meal, and I knew what I was going to eat the rest of the time, and I'm never hungry. Actually overly stuffed because you're rebuilding your metabolism. So I fit that in. I actually saved time. And if I didn't have 20 minutes, instead of me sitting across the table with somebody, we would do meetings on the treadmill, or we'd do meetings walking through the park.
Genius.
So it's all about hacking your time to fit your goals.
Yes.
I still met with everybody I needed to meet with, but we met in different locations. Why? Because my goal drove the strategy, drove my daily calendar. All right. So what did I have to give up? I had to give up certain junk food that wasn't going to make me feel good anyway.
Snickers.
It was those Snickers. Those peanut butter M&Ms. They're my weakness.
So mine also randomly are peanut M&Ms.
Those aren't that good.
I love those.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Peanut butter's the way to go.
It is. It's just amazing.
You're wrong.
But like you mentioned, those tiny things.
Yeah.
It's not like, again, that you have to give them up forever. Keep that in mind, people. Like, you don't have to say, "Oh, apparently I'm just never going to do that again." It's like, nah, you can have a Snickers. You can eat. You can enjoy those things. But when you do it, the intentionality of stop doing it, right? Is it stop drinking soda? Is it stop drinking sweet tea with all the sugar in there? Stop drinking the processed juice, right? That has all the extra sugars. Just those intentional actions can have massive effects.
And not to go on a tangent in goal setting, but when we talk about health, as someone who greatly disliked all health food and was annoyed, and I was just pissed off at all these health gurus who are like, "Oh, this is the new thing." And it's like, oh, God, nobody knows anything. Getting an education for yourself, understanding what's good for you and how that fits with your goals is vitally important to the success of your life in every area, because you're stuck in this body. And I promise you that there are healthy substitutes for all the things that you love. There's actually healthy Cheetos.
What?
I know. I found them. So my great dislike for health food
tracked them down.
Led me to discovering how to make the most perfect protein chocolate chip cookie in the world.
Stopping you right there.
I'm the best.
I want people to know this.
Cookies.
When you say perfect, you do mean exceptional. I've had them on 3 different occasions. And I remember each occasion and how many cookies I had. They are bomb.
Yeah. So there's ways to get all the things that you love and swap them out for the healthy version of them.
Yeah.
And then once your taste buds adjust, then you actually get grossed out by the old stuff, which is
it's overpowering.
Very
at that
cool
point.
Trick.
Yep.
It's like fake tasting.
It's
yuck.
It does, and it's hilarious that you mentioned the taste buds changing. That will absolutely happen. I mean, I remember being a young child and just chicken tenders, that was it, right? Up until a certain time frame, like if I was eating out or whatever, and asparagus, broccoli. But now, when you start introducing that and you start seeing the bigger picture, it begins to taste good and you begin to enjoy it, because most people, when they're talking about their health, they think, how can I be healthy? When? Now.
Right now.
Right now. I need to be healthy right now. But so many people forget, wait a minute, you're actually here on this planet for a little while. So maybe in 20 years, I should be thinking about the 20-year goal rather than this exact moment, and just work my way backwards and plan it out.
Most people don't link what they're eating that day in that meal to the long-term vision of their life. And you have to. And I'm going to take it to the next level since we're in the health category.
Okay.
When you can align what you eat with your values, your whole life turns into this interesting next level synergy. So I've always loved and cared about animals. I hate killing animals. And I've only ate meat. I didn't like vegetables. I'm a struggling vegetarian because I didn't like any vegetables. But one day I rescued this little baby chick. It was like 3 days old. And if you rescue anything that young, you can pretty much train it. It ends up like a puppy, and it would follow me around and sit on my shoulders. And like the only thing that would calm it down is if I put this YouTube video of these little baby chicks peeping, and named him Sir Peeps a lot. And oh my gosh. Boy. So one day I was eating my lunch and he was sitting on my shoulder and I was eating chicken. And I was like, for me, my personal values of how hard I fight to like save innocent things, I was like, I can live without this.
Yeah. And you have.
And you know what's crazy is I lost 20 pounds of fat that would never leave me.
What?
By becoming pescatarian. And
what?
You know what? It's crazy because you don't eat like bad fish.
Yeah.
You can't go to fast food and get fish.
Right.
So just by eliminating something that meant a lot to me, all these little baby cows, I watched a few documentaries to make myself crave it less. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it helps.
It was so amazing how my health went through the window. So if it's important to you to help save the planet, how can you eat sustainably? How can you be buying from good sources? I'm not saying it's bad to eat meat, but if you do eat meat, make sure it's not these horrible factories and these animals are plugged full of awful hormones because that's going in your body. It's going to become part of you.
Preach it.
What are you putting in? Because it's becoming part of you.
Yes.
And that's in your mind, in your body, everything. So just being intentional, you're going to feel less guilty every day because you're going to feel like I'm not cutting corners here, but I talk about all this stuff and I'm cutting corners here. You talk about saving the planet and then you don't recycle, or you walk by that garbage on the beach. You're going to feel guilty. So same thing with your food.
That's amazing. I forget exactly who brought this up to was it someone on this island? Anyway, the point was we were sitting down eating and they were talking about every time they ate, they did this practice of trying to visualize all the processes that came to be for that food to arrive on their plate. That was their I'm being present moment. Like, how can I enjoy this meal? So when they're eating it and they're eating pasta or fish or salad, like, how did the lettuce grow? Where did it grow? Who cut it? So they're just visualizing a farmer, taking the lettuce and cutting the lettuce, or was it hydroponically grown or whatever, and just having that intentionality. Because one of the things you said that inspired me just now is what you eat becomes you. I've heard it in other ways, but not ever that poignantly. Because for me, if I eat something, I'm going to now visualize like it spreading through the other parts of my body to like fill me up as a person.
Was this a suffering animal that died a horrible, horrendous, stressful death?
Yeah.
Is that something you want to become part of you?
Correct. Yeah. It's a very, very, very beautifully placed question. So when you're asking those thoughts and you're coming up with those answers, you want to be a part of your alignment, a part of your value, who you are. Because again, who you are now will shape who you are 20 years from now, but who you are 20 years from now will help define who you are now.
Amazing.
And so to be thinking through it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
What a cool point. Thank you for sharing that for all of us, because that, my friends, is how you can create true lifestyle change. Thinking through it and just getting really intentional and really specific on all the aspects of your body.
The more aligned you are, the faster you get to your destination. And once you've reached it, you create a new destination because you can go farther and faster than anybody else around you, because you don't have this weird, constant cycle of creating and adding more baggage and guilt and shame and stuff that doesn't have to be part of your life.
Mic drop. That's it. Team, we're going to see you in the next episode. We're going to continue doing this. A lot of greatness coming down the pike. In fact, I think we're going to be talking about how to get your cash flow right.
Oh, man.
Coming up next.
Really live your dream.
Woo.
Oh, man.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
There is one particular website which stands above all others. That website is broketowoke.com. And we have cataloged everything from the show. All the notes, all the workbooks, the downloads, the worksheets, the books, the resources, the tools, the information. You should go there. You should check it out and get all the free available resources so that you can go from broke to woke.